Welcome to another episode of Covid-Caddy. Today I'm going to use this episode to talk through some of the repairs I've had to do to the van, so in order to pass a roadworthy and obtain a roadworthy certificate. What I like to keep in mind when going for a roadworthy, especially if you're keeping the car in question, a lot of people get very angry when the inspector picks on the things that are wrong with the car. I prefer to see it as these are things you need to fix, and because you're keeping the car, you get to enjoy the benefit of the repairs and the money you invested in it in terms of reliability and just a better driving experience. One of the big ticket items I had to do for the roadworthy, which I knew about going into anyway, was have a replacement windscreen fitted. I actually took it as an opportunity to fix a couple of issues with the car. So not only was the old windscreen scratched right in the field of vision due to the last owner never changing the wiper blades once the steel backings hit the screen, but the previous owner also cheaped out and fitted a non-radio antenna windscreen. Now this earlier model Caddy has the FM AM aerial built into the windscreen, so I had no radio reception previously. Now that's all been fixed, the windscreen's been hooked into the amplifier built into the headlining. I've seen that as a positive because now I get to see out of the car clearly, as well as have my really nice radio reception back. The other thing that I had to do was replacement headlights. So this is the worst of the two that came with the van. Now this is actually predominantly damage on the inside of the lens as well as the outside of the lens due to lost water caps, whatever you want to call them. So I paid the $70 for the Maguire's sanding and polishing and the clear coat kit that you buy from your local auto parts store, but unfortunately someone has hit these headlights 2, 3, or maybe even more times before with sandpaper, thus taking all the coating off, causing this to delaminate. There's nothing I can really do to fix it. So thankfully a pair of headlights sourced second hand, basically what I paid for the stupid UV kit, and it just improves the whole look of the van. No, they're not perfect, but they're definitely a lot closer to roadworthy than the ones that came out of it. One of the stranger things I had to replace for the roadworthy certificate was the hub and bearing assembly on this wheel. Now, through previous misadventure, one of the bolts had been stripped and it had the GDI wheels on it. I bought a tab, cleaned the thread out, replaced the bolt, torqued it all up, happy days. When the car went in for a roadworthy inspection, they've rattled the bolt onto the hub, despite my asking not to, and they've just pulled the thread straight out of the hub. So Volkswagen, this chassis is pretty good in that regard, it's the same as Golf. The bearings are bolt on, so brand new hub and bearing are sourced and it's all been replaced. The reason I look at that as a benefit to me, having been done, is I can now have the wheels off it to swap wheels, do maintenance, whatever, and I can torque the wheels back up, rattle the wheels back up, whatever, and I don't have to be worried about cross-threading a damaged thread or pulling a damaged thread out of the hub. So maybe in the future the other 3 bearings that I've done, as well as possibly some quieter tyres compared to these road claws. I'm finally about to fix something that's been an eyesore on the outside of the van since I bought it, which is the lack of door rub strip. Now the one that came on the van was hanging off and had been fixed at some point with a roofing screw through the panel, so that obviously won't do. Took a trip down to my local VW dealership and managed to get a new one. Just taking wax off. The main reason for buying a new strip is because of this double-sided tape. No matter how hard you try, you're never going to be able to get it as nice as a machine job on a brand new door strip. So to save myself a whole lot of heartache in applying it, I've gone and bought a new one. That and the fact that my old one's got a hole through it. Now going back now, what could go wrong? Oh, looks so good. Hello. Pretty much the only other thing I had to do for roadworthy was replace all 6 of the indicator globes with fresh amber/orange globe. So whilst replacing the indicator globes on the van, I took the opportunity to fit LED reversing lights. I really like the fact that the early vans have the twin reversing lights. It really appeals to me in the sense I really like the symmetry of the tail lights and the fact that we get the extra light dispersion and it's more even across the back of the van. Something that I just finished up on yesterday as well is I manufactured my own door cards for the back doors and the left-hand and rear quarter on the van. I wanted them grey to match the newer door card that I'd fitted to the sliding door and opposite the sliding door. Some of the door cards are coming up as NLA for short wheelbase in this shape now. That and the fact that Volkswagen asked quite a fair bit of money for what is essentially some painted melamite. So my cards are obviously not as nice as a laser cut VW one, but for an idiot with a jigsaw, I don't think they've turned out too badly. Matching quarter one as well. I didn't like the perforated hole design. I'm sure it serves a purpose in terms of cabin ventilation or something that I'll find out at a later date, but for now I'm happy to be rid of all the holes. This video and next video are going to have some continuity issues. I've done a fair bit of work to the Caddy over the last few weeks, some of it to get it ready for roadworthy and some just modifications that I wanted to do since I bought it. I've split content into 2 videos with those themes carrying through each video, so there may be some continuity errors which will probably be fairly easy to spot. That's all for this episode. Thank you for sitting through the entirety of it. I understand it's not a very action-packed episode, but it is quite a milestone because now the vehicle is roadworthy, registered, and my new daily driver. All the work that was carried out on the car from my purchasing it to, as you see it now today, running and everything on the road, was all done under stage 4 lockdown COVID restrictions in Melbourne, hence the name of the series. I'm going to be getting out and about in the van and making full use of all the benefits of the Volkswagen Caddy model, as well as the next episode I'll be doing some modifications and some interior touches that I've been planning for quite some time, so it'll be a little bit more interesting, definitely a lot more evolved than what this episode has been, so see you all then.